RNG and FPX. On one side, we have our 2019 World Champions FPX, along with their top laner, who is the 2020 World Champion Nuguri. And on the other side, we have perhaps one of the most successful LPL teams one of the most successful domestic LPL teams, brands, in fact, in the region, RNG, with the most titles ever won by any LPL team. As the bans come out, immediately RNG slight difference in game 1. Looks like slight difference in game 2, sorry, opting for blue side with the hack room almost insta-lock and the Twisted Fate ban instead of going for a 5 support ban that we went for in the previous game. On the side of FPX, of course, the double support ban followed by the Lucian ban. Lucian, of course, being Xiaohu and Crying's flex, one of them at least, the other one being Oriana, which is still up. However, chances are we'll probably see a bit more priority of her later on in the draft as junglers take precedence. Kaisa is locked in here as a few other junglers are going to be held. I'm pretty sure this is going to be an Udyr pick or perhaps an Olaf pick. Chances are it's one of the two. Every other jungler is kind of lackluster. Lee Sin, of course, is Tian's signature champion, and we could see some of that, some play-making, more lane-centric jungling going on here. But the Udyr is the eventual pickup here for FPX, as Jace is almost instantly locked in. Looks like RNG liking the way the Jace pick went against the Irelia, as Irelia is almost pretty much instantly locked. No? Yeah. Irelia is seemingly instantly locked in here for the side of FPX. So it looks like both teams enjoying how that top lane matchup played off. I must say that Xiaohu in the last game did a fantastic job just keeping things boring, keeping things fair, keeping things in control, as FPX opt for that third support ban with the Rakan taking away the Xayah Rakan synergy, and RNG banding out Doing B's Oriana, of course, because Doing B will be the first one able to pick coming out of the second round of bans. On the side of FPX, let's see what they look to ban here. I suppose at this point it will be fine to just ban the Knot, because that is what Ming had a lot of success in, hitting a beautiful hook in the last game. They could also look to ban out the Leona or the Gragas. I was just about to mention that. Gragas being a fantastic disengage tool, and RNG with the Xayah could potentially be playing more of a kite back and peel kind of composition. On the side of RNG here, what will they look to ban out? There is still perhaps Azir is not really something Doing B plays. They can look to ban out perhaps the Akali or the Rise, maybe even what else does he play? He is Rumble, Kled. Silas ban is what comes out here for RNG, and on the side of FPX looks to be a Leona locked in. Can't say I'm surprised this at all. The two remaining engaged supports are pretty much Leona and Nautilus at this point in time, which I expect either team to lock in. So if Leona is taken here, I'm pretty sure Ming will be back on that Nautilus, which he had fantastic success on. I think Ming making the big plays in last game, despite the fact RNG ended up losing it, I think that they did a very good job keeping things together going into game 1. Now, in game 2, let's see. This is going to be a Nautilus. Is it going to be? I'm going to say it is. Yep, it's the Nautilus hover into the potential pick. And in the mid lane, will Crying go for the Azir? I kind of like the Azir here. Azir is more of like the peel back and kite composition. I feel that FPX have a very dive-centric composition, and RNG on the other hand with the Xayah pick especially kind of emphasize this kite back and do damage to the front line pick, and the Rise fits perfectly into that composition. For side of FPX, Kassadin I think does a very good job with the rest of the team just diving in, but they need something that can wave clear as well and get some priority in the mid lane, and I kind of like the idea of an Akali here, as Kassadin is the hover. They could potentially go for the Victor, but Victor gives them priority, Victor doesn't really give them that diving. It kind of goes against, in my opinion, just the nature of FPX current draft, but that is eventually what they lock in and it's what they feel comfortable on, as Doing B is back on the Victor. All smiles he is. Looks like they've got a good plan coming in. Looking at the two drafts, RNG look to be playing more towards the top side despite having kind of a losing lane against the Irelia. I say that because, again, Xayah's got decent follow-up, but I don't think that they've got enough tools down towards the bot side. That being said, if Wei decides to camp it out, I suppose it will be camp out bot side. I suppose it'll be fine. But the nice thing about the Xayah pick is that it locks your support. Once you hit 6, you can kind of just sit beneath tower or maybe in the tier 2 tower and let your support roam free. If I was RNG, I would play more towards the bottom side. Although I say that Xayah doesn't provide much CC, fact remains is that she can get 3 feathers out relatively quickly, and especially if Ming manages to land a hook and a depth charge and even the passive proc rooting the enemy in place. So I know for a fact, based on the compositions, FPX can play towards both top and bot, as can RNG. Mid is going to be pretty much a pushing fiesta. That being said, I kind of like RNG's draft more because there's literally gank opportunities in every single lane. The rise with the flash, instantaneous route almost, followed by the prancing pony, the trotting hecarim, or perhaps more on the, and then the bot side. There's of course the knot. Very nice, very nice. Good picks coming in here from either team. Although I am biased towards FPX, as you guys will all know, I think that I like RNG's composition a little bit more. FPX composition seems to clash a little bit too much for my own personal liking. Because again, the Irelia wants to go in, the Kaisa looks like she wants to go in, Leona wants to go in, the Udyr kind of wants to run in, and then the Victor doesn't really want to go in. He kind of wants you to fight into him, which again is not really something that RNG specialize in based on their composition. But regardless, let's see. My prediction is that RNG will play more towards the bottom side because we saw in game 1 they had massive success. In fact, I'm very surprised they didn't opt for the Tristana again because I feel like Tristana was a very good pick for them. I think that Gala did a fantastic job, and in fact he kind of almost solo carried that entire game. But let's just see how it goes here. So I suspect RNG going to play towards bot side and FPX going to play towards top side. Let's just see how both teams go. Couple wards being dropped as sweepers are sweeper is traded here for Wei. Let's just get a bit more water in before the game actually unwinds. Not the best stats I've ever seen on Crisp. You know, it used to throw me off that there's a 21st, he can be ranked 21st among 17 teams, until I remember that some teams have what do you call those, substitutes, and I suppose substitutes also kind of count towards the stats, and something that people might not remember occasionally, that you know there are substitutes, and it's hard to remember them sometimes, but we ought, I think, to give them a little bit of appreciation as the game starts out. Both junglers getting a nice leash from the bottom side of their map. 2 wards are dropped towards the top side for RNG, wanting to spot out Tian as much as possible. Heavy emphasis on protecting their solo laners from the top side of the map as the Zenith play goes in onto Gala, but Ming instantly going in onto LWX and allowing Gala to trade some damage back onto Crisp. Looks like with that exchange, Crisp is the one on the short end of it. But priority goes definitely in favor of FPX, as in the top side, Xiaohu already being jumped on. Level 2 to level 1, Nuguri with a slight bit of advantage, really making Xiaohu pay. Xiaohu, could he potentially be dove here, level 1? While he is level 1, luckily for him, Tian is not in the area. Tian opting for a full clear, and Nuguri, not realizing where Wei is going to get some vision out. Tian is going to be walking in, realizing that Nuguri has such a advantage in lane, is going to try and steal away Wei's blue by the sound of it, maybe even try and find him, but Wei spots him going over the wall as the ward is also spotted out. Nuguri is not moving, but Crying is moving, making slight movements already. Tian looking to finish out. Doinbei is walking up as well as Xiaohu rounds the corner as well. Looks like it's a drive-by easy steal coming in there. Tian could flash over the wall if he needed to, as could Xiaohu, to try and land to the skies in order to slow him enough for Wei. But looks like Wei, in spite of popping Ghost, will not receive much from that. Nuguri in the top side here, running a bit low on mana, does know that Wei is in the area. Might want to play a little bit more careful, not because of the HP pool, of course, but because of the fact that his mana is a little bit low, as Xiaohu, one auto attack takes him so deadly low, as Nuguri is stepping up. Wei is in the area as well, needs to be careful for this. Could be a 1-for-1. Looks like Nuguri is set and trading this for a 1-for-1. Flashes in, walks out of tower range, and now needs to run away from Wei. Wei does not have his E. Is only got 2 points in Q. That blue buff steal, I think, actually saved his life. I saved Nuguri's life. Beautiful play coming in here from Tian. I cannot believe it, as the bot side of FPX, with the priority they've received, just clear out the bot Scuttle Crab, as FPX as a collective collect 2 Scuttle Crabs, stealing it all away from Wei. Wei at a disadvantage. This is very reminiscent of the round of 4 when FPX just bulldozed RNG. It was a heavy emphasis on taking Wei out of the game and playing a 4v5 situation pretty much the entire game. Now, Nuguri, after that first death, is down 13 CS. Wei is up top, but he is trotting on a ward here. Nuguri, realizing this, will probably play a little bit more passive until it is time for... the wave is pushing into him, so I don't suspect anything really is going to go down here. Dragon is spawning in 40 seconds time. Nuguri stacking up his passive. Looks like he's going in onto Xiaohu, despite knowing that Wei is in the area. Could they knock him under tower, as knock comes in, and the second one comes in. He's still not under tower as he's going onto Xiaohu. One last Q. Finishes off Xiaohu. Could he sustain this? Tanks up 2 tower shots, and Wei... Whoa! Oh, he needs to be careful. One more Q auto would lead to his death. I don't think Nuguri realizing I think Nuguri realizing that they could potentially lead to his own death as well. Very disciplined he is in order to just allow Wei to leave, not trying to set him any further behind. And here it is as Nuguri tanks the third and the fourth and the fifth tower shot in the entire exchange, and he is now only half HP. What the heck? That champion is so strong. Okay. Meanwhile, in the bot side, Ming just fighting off Tian from the bot side Krugs. In fact, helping his jungler to finish up the camp as it seems. Gala, meanwhile, under tower is just happily farming away, slightly behind on CS as well as FPX winning out in both the side lanes so far. Okay, not a very good start coming in here from RNG, but this is not something that you cannot come back from, as look at Nuguri, full confidence, landing the stun, getting his 5 stacks of passive off of the minion wave, as well as the stun, as he is bouncy castle around using his W to tank out a lot of the damage, and then he tanks one tower shot, tanks another one, and it's still not enough to bring him down, as Ming in mid lane with Crying. In goes Crying with the Rune Prison instant root, and in comes the hook to bring him in further, as Chris tries to jump in the Zed's play, but Ming is not caught in the tower, as Tian can do nothing but stand around in his chicken suit. Crying, flashing in for the root. As we mentioned previously, the point and click root of Arise is so nice to gank for. It's almost assured, as Wei getting some revenge now on to Tian, stealing away his chicken camp, not looking to finish it off, however, because he knows he wants to be as much of a nuisance as possible. As in comes the realm walk. Looks like Nuguri was not paying attention to his minimap, trying to kill Xiao, who out again is a 4v1 situation. Can Nuguri get anything back here? As Nuguri's thrown through his Crying lands the root prison. Looks like Nuguri's not going to be able to get anything back. He throws his ultimate back onto Xiao, taking incredibly low as the hook comes in. Could it save him? Nope, the minions take him out as Xiao goes down. Unfortunate turn of events indeed. Is a 1v4 situation. Nuguri somehow managed to claw back and advance here for his team. Tian is here to try and stop some recalls, I believe, but Wei is here to just defend his team. And just like that, FPX winning across the board yet again. Now, a big shutdown did go in favor of Crying. That being said, we need to consider the fact that FPX, Nuguri drew 4 people up to the top side, which means that across the board, his team managed to push out waves. Gala was sitting under tower, just getting harassed either that or he had stayed beneath the tier 2. Tian stealing away the wolf camp in revenge for the Raptors camp that he lost, and just like that, he'll go back to doing his red buff. Dragon is still up, but it looks like neither team is particularly interested in that, as we see here. Xiaohu just keeping Nuguri enticed for that moment longer, using his phase rush to close as much distance as possible. Sees that his team is stunned up, realizes he needs to keep Nuguri even more enticed as Nuguri jumps in onto Wei, gets knocked into Crying's Rune Prison. Crying also using the phase rush to sprint the hell out of there, and it looks like Nuguri kind of just got denied 2 kills just off of phase rush and the amount of CC that RNG have packing. Tian blast planting over the wall, not quite sure when blue buff is spawning, but looks like he's here to claim Xiaohu's life. Ming is walking up from base. This could potentially be kind of dicey as Nuguri tanking out tower to try and finish out the wave here. Tanks out 2 shots. The towers are going to be as strong as they ever be as Tian tanks up third shot. Xiaohu needs to try and hold the wave as best as he can, and he's doing that in the minimum as he knocks away Nuguri, but Crisp is here as well, lands the Q. Zenith Blade is available, looks like it's not even going to be used here as Ming comes in to try and finish off the kill on Nuguri. Hook lands, aftershock goes down, but Ming is not level 6. Nuguri is just trying to walk out. Crying is in the area but does not have the stun as Nuguri throws out the blades, and looks like he'll be able to escape this as Crisp and can escort him out. Ming throwing out the hook and not getting anything here. Ming, nice rotation, but a little bit late. Xiaohu did the best he could to try and stop and stall the dive as much as possible. Ming face checking into Chris. He'll probably be able to hit the easiest hook. Wei is rounding the corner, so Chris trying to zigzag as best he can, but in this narrow corridor, looks like Ming just planning on walking out and rooting him. Hook is available. Ming, a lot of trigger discipline here, finally landing his hook into Crisp, and then the stun coming out onto Tian as well as Nuguri jumps in. They need to turn on him. It's the onslaught of shadows comes in. Stopwatch coming in from Ming as well as a bunch of QEs come flying through for Crying, and even Tian is taken out in the back half of that by Crying. Not quite sure if that was an intentional shot or not. Very nice play here. Coming in from RNG. Incredible. Interesting is what I was going to say. But incredible play coming in from RNG. Even after all that, looks like I was wrong. They have decided to sack Gala in the bot lane and just go all out in the top side. It looks like Gala, what he said in the pre-game Smack Talk video was true, It's true. RNG really play for Protect 1, and in this situation, they're just protecting the heck out of Xiaohu up in the top side. Despite being 0-4, this game is not over for Xiaohu because he is just getting all kinds of aid, financial, emotional, just spiritual. He's just being supported, being propped up by his entire team. And not that the team isn't getting anything from it. It looks like they are getting everything. As look at Ming, realizing that they are all low, walks up, lands the root first, can land a hook, doesn't, chooses not to, opts to wait for a way to get a little bit closer, and finally eventually throwing out the hook, allowing Crying to just incinerate Crisp as Tian nearly gets jumped on here. And the second Nuguri enters, they root him, throw an onslaught of shadows, who used the stopwatch, and the fear from the onslaught of shadows was enough to just CC him down forever as Tian starts up Dragon. But the ward over the wall spooks him. Looks like Wei just throwing down that ward and galloping away to finish off his Krugs. Nice little mind games going in here. Now don't get me wrong, Xiaohu is still in a huge hole in that there's no way he 1v1s Nuguri for a very long time. He needs at least 2, maybe even 3 items. And by then Nuguri will probably also have 3 items. So I don't know if Xiaohu will ever really be able to solo out Nuguri. Nuguri looks to be probably going in for the Stride Breaker second item, which means it's going to be a Bruiser, maybe even a Starox for third item. So it's going to be pretty hard for Xiaohu to kill him out. Looks like in spite of the vision, Tian is just able to secure up the dragon for his team as Crying and Wei again walking up towards the top side. Crying trying to take away as much of the enemy's resources as possible. Nuguri is in the area. Just he's looking to stack up his Q on the little Krugs as Wei and Xiaohu in the top side getting some damage on the tower. This will be first tower, especially if they decide to drop the Rift Herald, but Tian is in the bottom side here to counter. Gala stepping away from the Solar Flare, does have his Feather Storm, uses it immediately, but unfortunately doesn't manage to root anyone out as Ming is taken extra below. He's taken out by the laser as Gala left under the tower beneath a Chaos Storm to just left high and dry on. He just shredded up as FPX trading a little bit back and forth. Wait, still not using his Rift Herald. Is he opting to use it mid lane as he's rotating that Nuguri? He's in a 1v2 situation. This is not a situation that he finds himself uncomfortable in, as evident by his previous play. But Rift Herald eventually is dropped in the mid lane, which means 2 towers are looking to go over towards the side of RNG. Okay, good plays by either team. A left and a right hook coming in from both teams. Both teams giving as good as they are getting as a teleport is coming in. Double teleport coming in here from both Xiaohu and Crying onto LWX. LWX hit by the Shout Blast. Looks to be given over to Xiaohu. Maybe they should give it to Crying. It looks like Xiaohu is the one who's going to be claiming it as LWX voluntarily walks under tower and beneath the hammer of Xiaohu. Double teleports committed here by the members of RNG, by the solo laners of RNG. I like that play they had going on here. They basically won something in all 3 lanes. They got top tier 3, they got mid tier 3, and then in bot lane they've got the AD carry. Good plays altogether. Crying doing a massive job in this game so far, being everywhere he needs to be, supporting his team as much as he can. He's 3-0-2 now, having finished his Everfrost as Nuguri chips away at the top side tower. And in meanwhile, bot side, Xiaohu is also doing the same towards the bot tower of FPX. Already 13 kills over in a game that is only 12 minutes long, as Nuguri is just looking to take this entire tower. I think in the bot side, Xiaohu, in spite of his mana problems right now, is also trying to do the same. But he is about to be stopped by the duo that is LWX as well as Crisp as he gets jumped in on, flashes away as the Realm Ward is coming in. In comes some support as Crying appears, but wait, around behind Crying, throws it in to Crying with the onslaught of shadows, and Crying just unloads on him. Nuguri has landed. It's a 2v4 situation, but Xiaohu incredibly does not have enough mana for even a Shock Blast combo as Nuguri is stunned up by the Depth Charge. Manages to land a nice stun which perhaps buys him a little bit of time as Nuguri jumps in onto Crying. Crying stopping, popping his stopwatch. Ming trying his best to root him up. Ming trying to get fishing for Chris as Nuguri is still alive. In comes doing the Tian from the river. Ming trying to stall them as much as possible. Will be taken out by the flashing in Tian as Tian going for Crying. Crying throwing out, gets hit by the laser. Gala auto attacking off the Chaos Storm is not dropped on him, but it's in there. Tian is in as well as the root comes out. Tian taken out by a beautiful flash from Gala. Oh my goodness. That was such a long sequence. Okay. Nice. Doing B with the Death Ray, flashing in to finish off Crying. Fantastic play as Xiaohu, the instigator of the entire situation, is still alive, is still down bot side, realizes that Doing B does not have flash, feeling very safe to just walk up and take these minions and perhaps try and bait him in a little bit further, as Wei was just around the corner. Wei without Onslaught of Shadows, however, could potentially have done nothing in that fight. Now Ming is walking up towards mid lane. Looks like he'll be taking the straight path there. LWX, if he gets hit by this hook, will most definitely be fine actually. Excuse me. Oh, water going in the wrong side. Nice flank coming in here from Wei, just pushing LWX from practically under tower straight into the awaiting arms of Crying. And then Nuguri, with the help of Chris, of course, buying so much time. This nice little stun here landed by Nuguri actually saves him for so much longer as he stuns up both Ming and Crying. Now Nuguri looking to be jumped on again here by Wei. Wei prancing in, throwing Nuguri into Xiaohu, but with the blade left behind him, Wei is stunned up as well. And Wei looked like he took more damage than he gave upon hitting him. Ming is rounding the corner as RNG continue to play so aggressively towards wherever Xiaohu and Nuguri are. Which means I think FPX should play more aggressively towards the opposite side of the map. Because after all, despite dragon spawning, it is only a win dragon. And if they're going to put so much emphasis here, it's not like you need an Irelia to get way ahead in a team fight, as Wei looks to just mess with Tian over here. Tian stealing away his own blue buff from the clutches of Wei, as Chris and Nuguri are pinned under tower, look to be channeling their recalls as LWX leaves as well. Not very synchronized recalls coming in here from FPX, but they will all be channeling their recall at least and getting out onto the map with fresh items and a bunch of wards. So far, in terms of vision, looks like RNG have control of the bot side river vision, but FPX have a little bit of vision in their own topside jungle as the final outer tower for FPX is falling beneath the pressure from Xiaohu. Xiaohu, all things considered, I think is not doing too badly in terms of gold. It's about in the middle of the league. Oh, what the heck? Tian getting absolutely taken out here. Not quite sure what went on there. I think he kind of just got greedy and got add a hook to the face alongside everything else that FPX had to throw at him. But FPX, in spite of being the one who lost their jungler, is the ones to start up and take out Rift Herald, while on the opposite side of the map, RNG just trading it for the Windrake, starting to get their own dragon stacking going, as well as bot pressure as yet another wave goes into the Blender bot side. Meanwhile, on the top here, looks like 486 damage crits coming in from Crying. He has hit his level 11, is slowly ramping up towards his level 16 Omega power spike. Looks like, yep, as you know, FPX love their Rift Heralds and Nuguri in the bot side here. Just taking as much of these minions as possible, not wanting to waste any more of this glorious CS, able to just one-shot the wave with just his Qs. As RNG reset back out onto the map, looks like they're going very comfortably with the 1-3-1, but Duibi dropping the Rift Herald in the bots in the mid lane means the last out tower of the entire game will be taken down. RNG just giving it up. In fact, looks like Rift Herald is not even going to be necessary, as Rift Herald will most definitely get the second charge off as well as a result of him being able to save some HP on the first charge. Will this be a fight? Ming getting poked out here by the Death Ray. Crisp is in the area as both Wei and Tian are off in the sides, kind of just playing goalkeeper to each other. Nuguri is hovering towards the bot side, taking out the crab. As the ping goes down, he is now walking towards bot side, and Xiaohu cannot go alone to stop him. Xiaohu needs to have Wei shadowing him, otherwise he will just be eaten alive by Nuguri. There is no contest whatsoever. 3 members spotted out in the bot side here. No neutral objectives to fight over so much. Crying does have his ultimate, however, and seeing Doing be so far out without very much help around him is giving me a bit of the GBs, as it looks like a ping is coming out here. Could they be looking to ult on to Doing B right now, as Gala is just safely farming in the mid lane. Gala, having finished his Gale Force as well as having his Cleanse Flash and Featherstorm, means that he's probably going to be in a pretty safe position. A bit of a help me ping, assist me ping in the bot side Tribush for Xiaohu, which means he, even though Wei is not in the area, he has to take the risk, he has to step up, he has to try and get as much farm as possible, with the hopes that Nuguri is nowhere in any one of these bushes. Look how carefully he is playing, and now he's spotted out Nuguri. He knows exactly where he is at, quickly runs away from him, not using the acceleration gate for that. FPX now reset back onto the map, have Tian down and the bot side along with Crisp, while it looks like RNG are playing towards the top side, with Wei just shadowing out Crying, and Gala and Ming just playing in the shadows towards top side. Wei is in the area first, waiting for Doing B. Doing B, he steps too far forward, will most definitely get trodden down, but Crisp is walking into the bot's top side jungle of FPX together with Tian, which means that they are probably going to manage to usher out both the mid and jungler of RNG. Whoo! Baron is spawning in a minute and 30 seconds time, as Crying using his ulti here, nearly getting slapped up by the bear stance. Tian did have flash, but I do believe that he didn't want to use it because there was no objective up on the map. I think he could potentially have tried to use it and then used the man advantage, try and siege down something mid lane, but I suppose they're not feeling comfortable enough based on the fact that all their champions really haven't quite hit their item power spikes just yet. Again, looking at the vision, looks like FPX have a lot of vision in their top side jungle, their own of course, which means they're feeling pretty safe in terms of gold. Both teams relatively even, with RNG taking a slight bit of a lead now, with Wei towards the bot side here hovering as well as Ming, means that Xiaohu is able to push out the wave and ensure that FPX send someone to pick it up. Meanwhile, on the top side, Nuguri playing probably off of the mannerisms of Xiaohu in the bot side, realizing that he's probably safe to push out this one more wave. Does the exact same thing that Xiaohu was doing in the bot side. It's just that he mirrors it up towards the top side. LWX a little bit far away from any help here, as RNG are just resetting out onto the map as well. And looks like the tempo of the game has kind of slowed down. Now, that's only for now, as Baron is spawning in the next 10 seconds, with Baron spawning a minute later. Now it's time for action, as Xiaohu jumps over the wall with 2 disguise, helping Ming and Wei to clear out some vision. Looks like RNG, looking at the items now, 2 items on almost every champion. 50-50. As RNG very much in position for Dragon. FPX, they've got a lot of damage on their team. They could potentially look to just try and trade off Baron for this Dragon, as Tian face checks into the same bush that got him killed previously. This could potentially be a very dangerous position to start a fight from. Chris is not in the area, but neither is Xiaohu, as a bit of trade going in back and forth. FPX have that inside track now towards the base of RNG, realizing this RNG are forced to back off and try and contest the wave, get some priority back in the mid lane. At least they're able to stop it before it crashes into the tower. As Gala picks it up, the rest of RNG just gather within the sanctity of their jungle, just trying to win back as much of the vision as possible, as the fight could be starting out here. Key things to watch. We need to watch for Crying, we need to watch for Gala, we need to watch for Wei. On the top side of FPX, we need to watch for Nuguri, as well as Doing B and LWX. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, fight could unwind right here as Ming throws out the hook. It misses completely. Crisp does have the Zenith Blade, does have the Solar Flare. Who will he choose to use it on? He uses it on to Ming, but Ming just sidesteps it, and Ming is tanking up all the damage as Wei goes in with Onslaught of Shadow Sphere up 10, as well as Chris. The front line of FPX fall instantaneously as Gala stepping forward, able to free hit the entire time. Looks like FPX's front line is not even close to remotely tanky enough for the backline of RNG. And if you look at it, RNG just need to kite back. Wei and Ming just need to tank up a little bit and allow the front line of FPX to get exploded by the immense damage coming out from Crying and from Gala. Once Xiaohu finishes his mana Munich, he will also begin to output tons of damage. He also will, I think, if I'm not mistaken, he also has that, a nice blue word coming in here from Gala. He also has that Gathering Storm to ensure that he will be a threat later on. It's nice little sidestep coming in here from both Xiaohu and Ming. Xiaohu positioning himself very nicely to just capitalize on Ming and Crisp, Tian and Crisp's mispositioning. And just like that, LW is being caught out here by the Realm Warp, I do believe, as Ming lands the hook. And just like that, LWX picked off. This could be a signal for RNG to start out the Baron. They have all their members in position here. FPX, will they try and contest this? Doinbi is channeling his recall. However, he does have teleport. May have to use it, as the teleport coming in here from Crying is a surefire indicator for the members of FPX and both RNG that a fight is going to unwind. Irelia is really ineffective in a fight like this because he has no time to stack up his passive. He needs to land a massive stun, as damage is coming in over the wall from the gravity fields, as well as the death rays from Doinbi. Chunky out Ming repeatedly, as damage from Baron kind of starts to fall off at 2k HP. Flashing over the wall is Nuguri and Tian. Baron is still up as the Solar Flare comes in, as well as the Chaos Storm, but unfortunately FPX are so split. Gala is able to just free hit everything from the back at full HP. Doinbi is the last remaining survivor. Will Chris be able to survive this? Chances are no, with the Hecarim's movement speed coming up, but it's not even that. It's Gala who takes him out with the feathers. An unfortunate position for FPX to be in, as the pick was too good. I love how RNG are using the Realm Warp in this game. I absolutely love it. They're being so creative with it. Gathering themselves advantages is exactly how you need to play. Crying coming out huge on this Rise pick. Now, if we look at the team compositions right now, things are looking very dire for FPX. Admittedly, they've been losing the last fight. So okay, here's what happened. LWS just face checking straight into a depth charge, as well as a prancing pony, and getting knocked straight into the open arms of Crying and his Everfrost. Now, Dragon is not spawning for 30 seconds. I think I should have enough time to kind of break down what's happening in the game right now, ladies and gentlemen. FPX are in a dire situation. Not only did they lose Baron, not only have they lost the past few fights, but their team composition is just so hard to execute, because what are you trying to do? You can't really split push with the Irelia, considering the fact that the Rise ultimate is up, as well as the fact that Hecarim, with his immense movement speed, will be in the area as well. And Irelia can 1v2, but 1v3 is going to prove to be incredibly hard. Ming has also been all around the map, has the plated steel greaves instead of the Moby boots, but somehow is able to just push and be everywhere onto the map. RNG are completely dictating this game as the tier 2 bot lane falls. Xiaohu teleporting in from topside after pushing it out, wanting to be with his team. A late teleport is pointless at this point in time. he needs to be there before, as RNG are just savagely and viciously shoving FPX away from their own towers. There's little respite here as Chris jumps into the Zenith Blade onto Ming. Ming has not been able to trigger his own aftershock, but still so tanky. Flashes over the wall, ignites up, but LWX goes in over the wall after him as 10 gets taken out in the front line. But LWX caught in a very unfortunate position between both the solo leaders of RNG as the realm warp is coming in. Crying's flash comes out, taking away LWX's flash as well. LWX does have the blast punt, uses it over the wall, but he's still in a dire situation. Perhaps he can just channel his recall here as Xiaohu turns. Maybe he can kill Xiaohu as the shock blasting away half of his HP, but LWX running straight into him, but to the skies takes him out as Xiaohu easily winning that duel. And this is this is besides the point. The problem is that RNG's competition is so easy to play around. You have the Disrupt in the backline with Wei. He's decently tanky now, coming up onto 2 items, and then you just have so much damage coming in from Crying. Crying is super fed, and Gala is super fed as well. The Shot Blast coming in, not really doing too much damage onto doing B, but RNG, oh, nice little stun coming out of Gala, forcing out his cleanse. He does have Featherstorm, so he is in a safe position, but Ming is not in the area. Ming forced to go back to base, I do believe, as as he was taken incredibly low just now. Okay, now again, a moment of respite. Dragon spawning in a minute, Baron lasting for the last 20 seconds. 5k gold lead going in favor of RNG just off of the Baron play itself. Now again, FPX, they want to dive in, but there's so much CC. You know, Nuguri is just attracting CC like he were a corpse, and the rest of all the CC from RNG are flies. And honestly, all RNG need to do is front to back. They just need to front to back, and if everyone from FPX is in front of everyone from RNG 100% win the fights. FPX need to get some killer flanks off. And who do you have to do the flanks? You've got Nuguri and you've got Tian. But if you've got Nuguri and you've got Tian, then no one's going to be peeling LWX, no one's going to be peeling Doing B, no one's going to be trying to peel Wei off of them. As around the corner jumps in Wei, Doing B instantly forced to use his Zhonya's. As he flashes away from it, Chris eats the hook instead, as Nuguri's ultimate misses everything. Looks like in the front line, Tian is left high and dry. He's not tanky at all, he just melts before Crying's pressure. Crying at level 16 is unstoppable. Look at him go. He just needs to have someone stand in front of him, and no one, and he just needs to have, if it's between Crying shredding someone or Doing B shredding someone, even LWX shredding someone, Crying is going to win 100% of the time. He doesn't even have his Rabadons. Unbelievable. I mean, Tian doesn't really have MR because he is building towards Thornmail, which probably explains why Crying basically 4-shot him with 4 keys. Oh, alright, this game I'm pretty sure is just ceremonial at this point in time. RNG are 100% going to be running away with this game. LWX playing quite carefully here. Unfortunately, he needs to realize that being so far up, even though Crisp is in the area, they could potentially be dropped on by 3 to 4 people. Crying probably can easily 1v2 the bot lane of FPX as long as he doesn't get hit by every single stun from Crisp. As I say that, last dragon is spawning in 4 minutes, and Baron is spawning in 1 minute and 30 seconds. Gala, in spite of what I've said, in spite of all the kills he's getting, he's still behind in terms of items. Half an item down onto LWX. LWX is doing a good job for himself, but he really hasn't shown up in any of these fights. It's not that he is not so much the player, but more the comp. It's hard for him to step up into a Nautilus, onto a Hecarim, as well as a Ryze. Ryze just needs to press EW, and then he might just one-shot you with his Q straight after that without even using his second round of E on you. In the top side, looks like RNG are just infesting the jungle of FPX, securing themselves a nice bit of vision before Baron spawns in 50 seconds, as well as taking away as much as they can of the jungle. 1000 AP crits coming out now, and Deathcap has still not been finished, as Crying, channeling his recall now, does have teleport, probably recalling to get said Deathcap, and there we go, picking up some control wards as well. Wade, finally the one in this duel between him and Tian to be 1 level up on his counterpart, as 5 members strong of FPX are in the mid lane. Top side is being pushed in by Xiaohu, as Crying now rotating towards the bot side to clear out the wave, and probably will teleport to meet up with his team. Baron spawning in 20 seconds time. Let's see what the crits are at. 1248 as he begins his path up towards the mid lane. Gala now just pushing in the tower as well. Has finished his 3rd item as well. Has an infinity edge in terms of items. I think his are more value for money. Chris stepping out a bit far. I think Ming is going to try and look for a hook here as he rounds the corner. A little bit too angsty was Ming as he hooks the corner. I'm going to take a quick drink of... Let me take a quick swig of water before the next round of fight. Crisp chunked out a little bit as teleport is coming in from Nuguri. He's behind RNG. Does RNG see this? There's a bunch of pings going on here as RNG signaling help. Crisp gets knocked out by the Oh, as in comes Tian, Tian flashing it onto Nuguri, but onto Crying, but Crying is so tanky, Crying taking no damage from it, as Gala is just shredding everything, uses his Feather Storm to finish off Nuguri, as LWX is golden between 5 members of RNG, Wei just running forward, as the Realm Walk coming in, 4-man package coming in, over to Dewey flash onto Bai Xiao, who uses his Zonias finally, but it is for naught as the game ends unceremoniously, Ming with a triple kill. RNG most definitely realizing that Nuguri was behind them, go extremely hard onto the front line. See, when Nuguri goes for a flank, there is no front line. Tian doesn't count. Chris doesn't count. And despite Tian flashing in on to land the stun onto Crying, Crying took no damage because the rest of his team was upon him in an instant. They just covered for him so miraculously, and Crying just able to explode everyone as soon as he came out of the CC. Chris jumping into Zenith Blade. But look, where's Tian? He's not there anymore. Where's Chris? He's not there anymore either, as Ming flashes out, wanting to be in the endgame screen as a living Nautilus rather than a vacant corpse. And the game goes very heavily in favor of RNG. Game 2, a beautiful comeback in terms of everything, in terms of tempo, in terms of just effectiveness. Fantastic plays coming in here from RNG. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, Game 3 is going to be coming up next. As Game 2, RNG fight back. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.